I've just gotten word on the Walenda situation. Nick Walenda, when he was crossing, you said he did not have a safety net when he crossed Niagara Falls.
That's my understanding.
Oh, you're wrong.
Okay. You just wanted to point that out because I pointed something out. Okay.
He
said he'd get you.
Right,
Walenda, while he had a physical harness when he crossed the Grand Canyon, for Niagara Falls, his harness was Jesus. Do you remember it? Jesus, help me. Jesus,
there was a
please.
glow.
Jesus, here we go, Jesus. Jesus, I'm going to get through here. Jesus.
There's no better harness or safety net than that.
You're right. I guess you're right. At least, if something did happen, you're already talking to the man. So, yes. Okay, I wanted to play a little bit of some of the audio on from the late night. You're criticizing the media a little bit. Let's see what they had to say. Stephen Colbert talking had Melania Trump come on his show and try to explain what happened with the plagiarism on Monday night. Listen to what he has.
This is truly the best of times.
Okay, this is an imposter, by the way, playing. But
it is the worst of times. I did not plagiarize my speech last night. I would never do such a thing. I would not, could not with a goat. I would not, could not on a boat. That is because I learned honesty during my humble upbringing in West Philadelphia, born and raised. So, to those who say I stole my speech, I say, give me a break.
Here's Seth Meyers on Melania's plagiarism.
Melania Trump is being accused of plagiarism because paragraphs of her speech last night closely mirror Michelle Obama's speech at the 2008 Democratic Convention. Said Melania, that's ridiculous. I worked on that speech for 7 years. Donald Trump's former campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, said today that whoever wrote Melania Trump's speech should be fired. Fine, I'll pack up my desk, said Michelle.
Jimmy Fallon on Melania.
Before we start, I want to say that if any of these jokes sound old, it's because Michelle Obama used them in 2008. So, not my fault.
I mean, you can't, Joe. You just cannot expect everybody to ignore this.
No, especially late night on the comedians. I think they're probably going to be rooting for either way. They're going to win this time, right? If they have the Clintons or the Trumps. But I love Jimmy Fallon too, so that's yeah. I expect that from the late night. It's when you get it into the media that are on, like whether it's MSNBC or CNN.
I mean,
Fox.
I got to tell you, CNN was hammering it, but they at least have a panel of Trump supporters. So they bring in a group, and even the Trump supporters were saying this was not the way to handle it by just discounting it, saying it was ridiculous because it seemed to be so obvious.
Well, but she's not running.
The big winner's Michelle.
The big winner's Michelle. Yeah, I guess.
She didn't write her speech either.
She didn't write it either. That's a great point.
But she's not running for office.
But Joe, come on. Are you going to join in with them and say this is nothing? Because here's the thing.
I don't think the American people think that was a big deal.
But listen,
and that's what's important right now, right?
That's not true.
It is important. It is true, though.
Listen, what everyone was talking about the next day was what? The plagiarism thing. That's the problem. It's not that she plagiarized. It's not that. It's that it once again a ridiculous faux pas out of this campaign has caused everybody to be distracted and talking about something different than what they wanted you to be talking about.
Well, those are good points, and I think that's something that the campaign needs to understand and appreciate because they can't just disregard things like that. But I don't believe that this issue is something that's prominent or of major concern to the voting public. I don't think
anybody's going to not vote for Donald Trump because of this, but it's another issue of is it another distraction that will hurt him in trying to defeat Hillary Clinton? Joe, you can't deny that.